NBA teams and players have their favorite plays. Here's one that the Timberwolves like to run. And it works because no one can read it before it happens. Except Nikola Jokic. Now that happens and people think the Joker is just lucky, or it's a mistake. Ant-Man straight up thinks he's cheating.
Hey, he's good. Me and Rudy looked at each other and said, how the fuck do we know? Because nobody said what we
didn't say nothing.
But I don't know. That nigga cheating, bro.
It's hard to explain, but NBA players all know that Nikola Jokic's basketball IQ is so crazy. But just how crazy? Wait until you hear the player who says Jokic makes 100% of his shots from 3. And if you want that level of accuracy, then you should consider Kalshi. 'Cause if you think you've got an edge on what's coming next, we are partnering with Kalshi, and they turn your predictions into possibilities. It's the first CFTC regulated exchange where you can trade yes-no event contracts on real-world questions, from inflation to major legislation to the next big breakout in entertainment. We all know Nikola Jokic is back to form even after his injury. His value to the Nuggets is unmatched. Like, if I wanted to trade for Nikola Jokic to be the MVP this year, I just go to my Kalshi app, navigate to the NBA awards, select the yes-no event for NBA MVP, place my trade amount, enter my birthday, and complete sign-up. And then, when the Joker wins, I get paid. Everyone has something they follow closely, whether it's markets, sports, politics, or pop culture. You do the research, you follow the trends, and you trust your instincts. Kalshi gives you a way to put that knowledge to work. Let's say you're convinced the Fed will raise rates, or you've got a gut feeling about who's taking Game 7 of the NBA Finals. On Kalshi, you can trade on those insights, turning your opinions into outcomes. And just like the NBA brings that tip-off to buzzer-beater intensity, Kalshi brings that same thrill to your insight. You're not sitting on the sidelines with an opinion, you're in the game. Over 1 million users have already joined, with more than $2 billion traded, and it's completely legal and regulated in all 50 states. These are real money markets where people like you are trading on what they believe will happen. And here's what makes Kalshi stand out. It even pays interest on long-term positions, meaning you can earn while you wait for an outcome to play out. Join Kalshi, the marketplace for people who don't just cheer from the stands, they trade what's next. Your prediction, your contract, your move. Head over to Kalshi.com/hoopers and get $20 when you trade $100. Turn your "I've got a feeling" into action today. A huge shout out to Kalshi for partnering with us. Let me know in the comments what you traded and if you think your trade can win. NBA players are not robots, so mistakes happen from time to time. Most of the time, those mistakes go unpunished until the Joker shows up. Tyrese Halliburton, the point guard, made a point talking about how the Joker forces players to always be on guard.
Obviously, it's a very unique style of basketball, and his vision is amazing. He's an amazing playmaker. He's the type of guy that, like, if you mess up a defensive coverage, he's gonna find it and expose it. There's not many times you can make a mistake and him not figure that out. So.
Most players need a second to react when a defender rotates late or when a coverage breaks down. Jokic doesn't. His brain processes those mistakes almost immediately, and by the time defenders realize what went wrong, the damage is already done. Even opposing big men say guarding Jokic feels almost impossible because he always seems to know exactly where the opening will appear. Here's Jarrett Allen explaining it.
Jokic in particular, he just, the stuff that he does is crazy. The passes he makes are crazy. And
unbelievable.
And you just, like, when you're playing against somebody like that, you're trying to you're not gonna lock someone like that down, but when you're trying to slow somebody like that, like, what do you even do?
Yeah, you just do the best you can. Like, it's literally incredible how many passes he makes where you're like, well, like I tried. Like, it's just, there's nothing I can do about it. And it's just on the guards.
Most NBA players feel like that when playing against Jokic. It's the reason so many players say facing him feels different from guarding almost anyone else in the league. But reading defensive mistakes is only one part of what makes Jokic's basketball IQ so crazy. Because according to some players, the real difference is the speed of his mind.
Braun and Jokic, I always say they have a supercomputer in their brain, right? Like their processing speed on the basketball court, just as an observer, having not played with them, it seems like it works faster than everyone else on the court.
Wait until you hear what LeBron sees Nikola Jokic doing with his supercomputer, because there's no doubt that processing speed changes everything with Jokic. Most players have to think through their options during a possession. Should they pass, attack the rim, or reset the offense? Jokic rarely hesitates like that. His reads happen so quickly that the correct decision seems automatic, which is why teammates and opponents often say playing against him feels like facing a coach on the floor, like Isaiah Hartenstein said here.
He's so smart in the game. His IQ is off the charts. Even playing against him in the playoffs, it felt like he was coaching. Like, he's like the coach on the court.
Indeed, watching the Joker in action can feel like that. Just look at what he did here.
Team wide open in that short corner. He reached in his career, the 6th fastest of any player. So here is Jamal Murray. Over 30 points he averaged in that Utah series.
Oh my goodness.
A feed to a wide open Monte Morris.
Jokic directs the Nuggets plays a lot, and they let him do it because it works. He calls out movements, tells teammates where to position themselves, and adjusts the offense based on what the defense is showing. It's like watching a player and a strategist operating at the same time. Which is why even one of the smartest point guards in NBA history had no hesitation when he was asked about basketball intelligence.
IQ?
Nikola Jokic.
Coming from Steve Nash, that answer says everything. But Jokic's intelligence does not only appear in how quickly he reads the game, he also knows exactly how to attack whoever is standing in front of him. Paul George once explained how Nikola Jokic breaks his defenders.
His game, I think he's a player that just knows who he is on that court. And you put a small guy on him, he punishes him. You know, somebody his size, he uses his smarts and wits.
That awareness allows Jokic to dominate without relying on traditional superstar athleticism. If a smaller defender switches onto him, Jokic doesn't rush. He patiently backs them down using angles and positioning until the defense collapses. But when a bigger defender tries to guard him, Jokic often does the opposite. Instead of overpowering them, he relies on timing, touch, and creativity. Even the man who recently broke Kobe Bryant's scoring record admits that dealing with Jokic can sometimes feel more impossible than some NBA records.
Who's the toughest dude in the league to guard right now, in your opinion?
It gotta be the big fella, the Serbian.
Joker.
Yeah,
Man, that shit is unreal.
Yeah, bro, that shit's unreal.
That shit is unreal, man. I gotta take my glass off to that guy.
And sometimes it's not just the decision making that confuses defenders, it's the type of shots Jokic takes. Because many of his moves look awkward or completely unorthodox. The kind of shots that players expect to miss, but superstars like Kevin Durant get confused with Jokic.
Man, I hate when he makes shots because he's so unorthodox, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a miss, and then it goes straight in. You know, he's incredible.
Sometimes it's just the way he plays basketball like a quarterback.
He makes the right play every time. You know, that's what's great about him is he doesn't force anything. You know, everything is going to be the right play. He's going to make the right reads. It's like a quarterback out there. I consider him like a Tom Brady. You know, he's going to always pick you apart and make the right reads.
That combination of awareness, patience, and creativity is exactly why Jokic is so difficult to stop. But it gets worse sometimes because NBA players can't even tell if they're dealing with a player or a coach. At this point, many NBA players believe Nikola Jokic is not just playing basketball, he's orchestrating it. Teammates constantly talk about how Jokic communicates during possessions. He tells players exactly where to move, where the open space will appear, and when to cut. We've also seen this happen countless times, including moments where Jokic literally directs the offense while the play is unfolding.
Team wide open in that short corner. He reached in his career, the 6th fastest of any player. So here is Jamal Murray. Over 30 points he averaged in that Utah series.
Oh my goodness.
A feed to a wide open Monte Morris.
And when he's not directing his teammates, he's finding devious ways to direct his opponents.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. We got a timeout called or a lane violation.
No!
We might have a lane violation.
As I watched this, I thought both Jokic, he triggers those guys breaking the lane line because he stunts at them, right? That's like a lineman stunting and forcing the other team. Yes.
Most players focus on their own matchup or their own scoring opportunity. Jokic is watching all 10 players on the floor at the same time. That's why NBA legend Tracy McGrady said this.
Are you seeing that Joker and what he's actually done for Denver is the new template to be a 5 in today's game, would you say?
That's special, bro. You're not going to find too many.
Now, remember that player who said Nikola Jokic makes all of the shots he sees him take? Here.
And never, he don't miss. I haven't seen him miss a shot against us like probably ever. Mm-hmm. They always go in. I'm like, all right, like here he goes shooting 100% from 3.
But that's how I feel too.
Do you want to know how LeBron James feels about Nikola Jokic so far?
This goddamn Joker guy, man. What he's shooting like? They say in like the last 5 or 6 games he's shooting like 77% from the field.
Yeah, I mean, this season in 3 weeks, I think he's at 67% from the field.
Oh my god! And by the way, and this is not like one of those guys back in the day, like all dunks, or all layups. No, this is everything.
All three
levels.
When opponents start saying things like that, you know you're dealing with a very different kind of superstar. You're dealing with the player with the highest basketball IQ. After hearing all these players describe Nikola Jokic, one thing becomes clear. His basketball IQ might be the most unique skill in the entire NBA. And what's more, it's how effortless he makes it all look. Jokic rarely forces plays. He doesn't rely on explosive athleticism. Instead, he solves the game possession by possession, using timing, positioning, and intelligence. And that's why so many NBA players believe Jokic's basketball IQ is simply on another level. But do you think there's any other player in NBA history who's shown this much high IQ in the game? Let us know in the comments. But if you want to see why defenders across the league struggle against him, watch NBA players explain why it's hard to guard Nikola Jokic next.